car restoration. What I want to learn, first of all, focus on these tasks which I'm doing now, right now. I don't want to thinking about something else. When I'm doing my work, you don't want to distractions when you working with car. This can be very dangerous, you know. Main thing, focus on this task which you now doing. This is what I want to learn. Patrick's Garage. Grab your snack, welcome back. So, car project. This is big, big task which you need to accomplish. And probably will be better to split all these purposes to small tasks and doing them one by one and focus on these tasks which we're doing. So I have experience of communication with mechanics. They can be distracted during their work. This is will be very dangerous. So you don't want to repeat these mistakes. So will be better to focus on this particular work which you producing these parts, which you doing repairing these parts. Right now, focus right here what I'm doing, so you can go from another problems and you go more deeper for process of restoration, so you not any additional attractive things which can be destroy all this process of restoration. So you should focus on this task which you doing now. Will be nervous even when we think about whole bunch of work which should be done with car. So we split this work for small tasks and we eat, like mechanics say, all elephant you can eat by small bites. You can't eat it right now at one moment. So this big task of restoration you split for small pieces and you eating one at time. Yes, I'm familiar with good specialists, with qualified mechanics. Also, I'm familiar with clowns. So we should minimum communication with these clowns, so we don't want to learn bad things from clowns. We don't want to communicate with bad peoples because we more than we familiar with and our bad peoples. We communicate with them. We learned all these scumbags habits from them. I don't want this. I know good mechanics. We should learn from them. We communicate, they can be friendly with you. They can give you absolutely free advices when you walking with them. Yes, they can say something not absolutely true, but they can't see through all their car by cell phone. Yes, main thing to find good mechanic. If you can't find good mechanics, yes, a lot of time I was familiar with bad mechanics, so I decided to repair my car by own hands. But yes, somewhere they are, and you can find good mechanics for repairing cars. It will be better to find independent mechanics because a lot of competitors among these mechanics, so will be better. You have more abilities to find good mechanics from independent mechanics, because I think in workshop you can find a good workshop with good attitudes for clientele, their attitudes, and this is the corporation, attitude for clientele, their managers, but a lot of characters, a lot of persons among these independent mechanics which have enough skills, enough tools to repair average modern car. But yes, if you have old car, you hardly you can find mechanics now which familiar with carburetors, which familiar with mechanical ignition and all this stuff which differs from modern cars. And I know that modern mechanics, they said me about that they think that more easier to them to work with these modern cars which with computers, a lot of electronic crap incorporated in all areas of cars. So this is a really complex car, modern cars. I don't want to restore modern cars, and I can't imagine after decades modern cars will be also classic cars. This will be old cars which guys want to restore, probably 20, 50 years older. They can't work in this period of time. Modern cars have a limited longevity. So I think for all times cars from 60s will be good objects for restoration long decades. They will be desirable objects for guys which want to repair, to learn how car works. We learn how car works with old cars. Now in modern days I'm not afraid how I will finding spare parts. You can finding them online, a lot of sources of spare parts, especially for classic cars, special online shops for the car brands, different car brands. They working with these parts, they know about these parts, so you can call on them, you can writing message, which parts available. Probably more often using parts for engine, pistons, rings, suspension, brakes, which was we using for maintain, for working with car, for repair more often. But a lot of parts you can't find now, like plastic parts of car interior, and a lot of things you can't find. But for maintain them in working condition, you can find these parts for maintain car. Yes, without access for online decades ago, was more harder to maintain classic cars, but a lot of cars now present, and we can learn how they work. We learn how to find spare parts, maybe not so expensive parts. We don't want to find expensive parts. We spend time for searching parts, so we learn how to find products more not for so high price. We're not satisfied by these overpriced spare parts in special shops, like they say for classic cars. We solving these parts. No, you can find parts in average cars, even online, auto parts shop. So because a lot of parts was interchangeable, and now and different models using these parts, carburetors, ignition system was used in Volvo. I want to say about Volvo as, for example, carburetors. A lot of British cars used these British carburetors, Strombergs. I like this carburetor Strombergs. Ignition system, this ignition system was made in Deutschland, in Germany, and this by Germans. This ignition system was a very dependable ignition system. So I really hate when guys upgrading these ignition system. Only in this case, when this ignition system worn completely, yes, in this case I will agree that you can replace the distributor with electronic ignition, this sensor, all this electronic crap, I prefer this contacts breaker, more reliable, more dependable things was done in a 6. So I prefer old, simple car for every day. So I learned a lot from old cars. Are they working? This is good source of information, of learnings, of mechanic skills from old car. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing.